Welcome, the War Chief of Light is back with another epic video. Hi, my name is PBE, but you lovely people are more than welcome to call me Peeps. Today, we're talking the MSQ for 6.3 because we need to. Before walking through that gate, listen, this video is spoiler central. We are talking about point by point what's going on, discussing what's good, what's bad. If you haven't seen it, this probably isn't the time to watch this. Wait until you've seen it. Or if you're the person who's like, you know what, spoilers are cool, I like them, which can't relate, but that's you, then you can totally stick around for this one. A little bit of housekeeping before we really get into it. 2 big points. One, we are discussing the MSQ. We are not discussing the new PvP map. We're not discussing Tatoo's Adventure. We're not discussing the lengthy additions they added for 6.3 because they're fucking awesome. It's a big ass patch, lots of content, lots of fun. I am excited for most of it and I'm having a ball. However, the MSQ is what we're discussing and we gotta stick to that, okay? And 2, something can be not your favorite, something can be less in tune with what you prefer, and not be bad. You don't need to jump ship just because you heard that the MSQ might not have been as strong as any other at that time. I mean, jump ship if you want to play other games. We promote gaming and in all its forms. But something can be weak and still be good. So we're going to lead with the parts that I found really good, because there is one massive point that was fantastic and I really want to cover it. Hulis. Hulis is a character that I thought would be more minor than they ended up being. This is a character who was highly indoctrinated in its empiric beliefs from day one. Birth, baby, swaddled. Probably swaddled under a Garlean Empire banner. Has lost his entire world as he known it from his friends, family, home, food source, heating, you name it, he lost it. Fighting for their beliefs. And all of a sudden we've got strangers walking in who's saying, 1, you're wrong, by the way, hi. And 2, you're poor and unfortunate. Let's feed you, warm you, and figure things out. He had every reason to just give us a middle finger. He had every reason to attack us. He had every reason to continue to do it. He has every reason today to fuck off. He has every single reason he needs to give us no mind or to take our shit and go. And he didn't. He has probably shown one of the most growths in game. Other than Alfino. Alfino is the growth master. But he has shown probably the most growth in Final Fantasy XIV as a character, going from one extreme to the other. And I mean, there could be many reasons for this growth. One could be just, listen, his situation is really fucking dire right now. It is survival. And his survival and his people's survival are dependent on the strangers because shit hit the fan and we're here now. It could also be physical growth. They're showing me who they are. They gave me soup. The soup wasn't bad. Wasn't poisoned. They're talking to me like I'm a person. They're not people. But they're talking to me like I'm a person. See what I mean? Like, it could be a mix of both. And I think that's more than likely it. At the beginning, I'm sure it was survival. And as it started to move down the line, it was more of a, you know what? If these people were that bad, would they? So I still think there's a little survival left there, but they're getting by, and Hulis learned a lot. He also learned that a lot of our beliefs as Eorzeans is to do onto for the better good. This was war. We could have left everybody hungry and walked away. We did not. I'm not saying we're good people. We are absolutely not. War is war. How many people died for that war? Either way, his growth has been incredible throughout the expansion. We've watched little moments eventually get into this where he's actually doing the explaining. Where he's actually talking to Zero and saying, hey, listen, this is what I learned. Still an outsider. There are days I don't trust them. But they've shown me this. And that's a really great conversation to have. There's also this moment about bread. like a dumpling or something. I don't know what the food actually is in real life. I know there's bread involved. And he has this most beautiful moment breaking bread with Zero. Now, this scene was great for like many reasons. Graphically, what the fuck? That was beautiful. Fucking beautiful. However, it's very symbolic. Breaking bread is something you do with people in your home. Visitors, cousins, family. It's something you do as a gesture of kindness, a gesture of trust, and a gesture of invitation. And it can be seen that he's inviting Zero in. Hey, listen, you've gone through it. You have a home here. Or at least I trust you in my home. You are welcome in my home. Have some bread. I thought that was pretty low-key genius. Just, you know, that symbolism that was there, and I really enjoyed that. Now, the next thing I really enjoy is a cliffhanger. No, I don't. I don't like those big cliffhangers. You're like, do they live and die? Find out next time on Dragon. No, don't like that. I do like a little subtlety to my cliffhangers. Kind of like we got in 6.3. Golbez is on the fucking moon. He's right there. He's within reach. He's got a powerful fucking spaceship in his hands right now. Right there. He's hidey-holing in Zodiac's hidey-hole. He's right there. Just enough to give us a little sense of danger and to say, like, no, listen, shit's gonna hit the fan. Has it hit the fan? No, but peekaboo, I see you. Cute. I like that. Enough to get us going. Oh, okay. So to me, those were like the big good points of 6.3. Yes, I know there's not very many. We're going to go into it a little bit deeper now, into some of the negative stuff, and I'm not above going for the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit here is Zero and her growth. It ain't Ulysses. I am the person who typically, when Final Fantasy XIV writes something, takes me for a ride. I can't predict that. Jesus Christ. There was foreshadowing in the ARR. You were going to do something in Endwalker. No. I wasn't following, one, that closely, and two, Jesus, I missed that. Yes, I did. Holy So, when something is disgustingly predictable, it threw me for a loop. Zero's growth, we knew would happen. We knew painfully it would happen. I mean, they could have writ it on the wall. We knew we were getting a moment. We knew we were getting that moment right after she broke that bread with Ulysses. I thought it would be a she saves us moment, but no, it's a we save her moment. It's literally... It's not the same style of writing they typically do. Because again, you could have seen it. It was on the nose. You could have seen that a mile away. So I was like, okay. Again, it's not poor writing. This is more traditional RPG writing. We see it. Foreshadowing was there. It came to pass. What happens next? It's not typical for Final Fantasy XIV, and it threw me for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. The blatantness of it threw me for a loop. Next thing I'm not a fan of is Ruby Conte. Ruby Conte, what did we know about Ruby Conte except he had a red cloak in Final Fantasy IV? So when we walk in and we're like, yeah, we're gonna fight this guy. He follows Golbez. He bad. That's all we get. The trial was fantastic. The trial was... Listen, the physical content, the dungeon, and the trial were great in this expansion. There's more story patch. But it was really good. There's no problem with the actual trial. We got a big backstory after we killed him. Again, that felt more like traditional RPG stuff. Like, oh no, you killed me, let's go into it. It didn't quite fit. And honestly, do you know how they could have fixed this? This one's easy. Make the slug quest part of the MSQ. Now, I'm not going to go into detail with it because that's a spoiler if you missed it. Do the side quest. It is 10 out of 10. If that was part of the MSQ, we would have had a story for Ruby Conte. We would have had a moment with him. We would have known what to expect when we got there. And then his end speech would have been A, shorter, and B, we would have felt something. We would have gotten it. It would have meant something. Here it didn't. It felt like they missed the mark. Just a little, but they did. They could have had something good there. Add the slug quest in. It would have given you everything you needed. That and Cognazio, you'd have more with him, which I butchered that name and I'm sorry. With all we got in this MSQ, it was alright. I mean, there's a few story bits, but not much. It really felt pretty... It felt like this was a patch to prepare you for another patch. Honestly, story-wise, it was rather weak. What's interesting is if you go compare it to other 0.3 patches. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna be very disappointed really fast. I'm going to exclude Shadowbringers from anything I'm saying right now because Shadowbringers was perfection. But the 0.3 here really was just character growth for 2 people. Ruby Conte, hi. Golbez's Heidi holding. Patch. Even our first 2 patches were we were learning about a whole new world, exploration, which is really cool. Second patch, we're learning about the people, how they live. We learned about their mysteries. Like, there was a lot more to it. We were introduced to the big bad, which was great. This was not a lot of advancement at all. It was really just a, hey, little bit of character growth. Bad guy's close. It was very interesting. It was very, again, very weak. And I actually went through all of the MSQ patches, quest lines, to see how weak is it? Is it weaker than a 0.2? Or like a, let's say, Stormblood 0.2? Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It was a great patch. If you go at Heavensward 0.4, that was pretty good too. They are not in the same vein. Actually, this patch reminds me of ARR. Now, I liked ARR. ARR is classic RPG feeling, except for the parting glass, which that I felt was the introduction of Final Fantasy XIV's true writing. But pre-parting glass, this really felt like one of those patches, that it was like a little bit of building, a little bit of RPG moments, move along, we're good. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. This actually might be intentional. They want to bring us back to that low-key adventuring mode. Maybe that could be it. I have been told that the 7.0, we will not know when or how it declenches, but something's going to kick us right in the face and we're going to be like, oh. I live for that. I love surprises in Final Fantasy XIV. However, this was very low-key. Again, ARR type feeling. And yeah, if that's your thing, that's great. It's something that I haven't expected in Final Fantasy XIV in a long time. Truly. So, it's just off for Final Fantasy XIV. It doesn't feel, it feels a little disjointed. But again, that could be intentional and they could be fucking with us. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Now, before you do, I don't usually put stuff out critical, especially on the story, because I've been blown away every fucking patch. So it's going to be interesting where the comment section goes, and I want you guys to keep it respectful. Listen, you can disagree. You can tell me, girl, what were you paying attention? Respectfully. All right? And that's what I would appreciate. However, if you do like nerdy stuff, you like Final Fantasy XIV, you like any kind of gaming, you're in the right spot. Hit the subscribe button, watch my streams. There's all kinds of bullshit, and it's pretty much all here. I do stream once a week on Twitch, so there's also that. In the meantime, though, thanks so much for being here. Have a legendary day, and I can't wait to see you guys again on the next one. Bye. Also, do not let my opinion take away from how hot Zero is. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.